everybody, how's it going? Thank you again so much for being here today for another great lesson from Big Wave Guitar. I'm your humble host, Dan the Guitar Man. Today we're going to be looking at Lewis Capaldi's Someone That You Loved. It's a beautiful, simple song with some really great chords that it can be strummed or finger-picked based on your preference or level of ability. But before we get into that, if you could please be so kind as to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. That way you stay up to date on all the great lessons, the videos, the tutorials, all the great guitar knowledge that we share here. And that's it. Thanks again for being here, and let's get into the lesson. Okay, so this song is recorded in the key of C sharp. So it's easiest and best if we just get a little capo, put it on the first fret here. That way all of the normal block chords like C, G, F, A minor, they're all exactly the same. You don't have to bar everything, and it's just a way easier way to play this song, so I would highly recommend just getting a capo and sticking it on the first fret. Okay, so here's going to be our C shape. We're going to have our third fret on what is now the fourth fret of the A string. Middle finger comes down onto the third fret of the D string, and then our first finger is going to be on the first fret of that B string, or second fret, excuse me. And then we're just going to strum top 5. I'm muting the low E string with my ring finger right here. Our next shape is going to be G. G sharp. We're going to be on the fourth fret of the low E string with our middle finger, then the third fret of the A string with our first finger, and then the high E string will be with our fourth finger. I'm just going to strum all 6. The next chord we're going to need is A minor. So we're going to put our first finger on that second fret of the B string, our middle finger on the third fret of the D string, and then our ring finger on the third fret, of the G string. And then we're just going to play the A, D, G, B, E, not the low E. I'm muting that with my thumb. Okay, so the last chord of the main chord progression is F. And there's a couple different ways you can go about doing this depending on how far along you are in your journey. You could either bar the entire second fret and then add the E major shape, which is the middle finger on what is the third fret of the G, and then your pinky on the fourth fret of the D, and your ring finger on the fourth fret of the A. If bar chords are a little out of your league at the moment, it's totally cool. There's another way to do it. You can just take your first finger and cover the second fret of the B and E strings together, right? So you're getting 2 notes there, and then your middle finger still goes to the third fret of G, ring finger still goes to the fourth fret of A, and your pinky still goes to the fourth fret of D, right? Then you can just strum that. If that's too hard, you can even go a little easier. Get rid of that A string and just drop it down so you have the fourth fret of D, third fret of G, and the first 2 on B and E, first fret. And just strum those bottom 4 strings. Okay, last but not least, in the bridge section of the song, we're going to use the chord D minor, right? So that's going to involve us putting our first finger on the second fret of the bottom E or high E string, your ring finger on the fourth fret of the B string, and then your middle finger on the third fret of the D string. And then we're going to play an open A, D strings as well, not the low E. I'm going to mute that with my thumb here. Okay, so the finger picking I'm using in the beginning, over the intro, is just a very simple root note with my thumb, and then my ring finger is plucking on the B string, and my middle finger is plucking on the G string. And then using the chord C major as an example, you can get this kind of effect. Just thumb, ring, thumb, middle. And if I switch to G, my thumb jumps up to the low E string. Same pattern though. Right? Just thumb, ring, thumb, middle. Same with A minor. And then with F. In this case, I'm using the F on the D string, the 4th fret will be with a bass note, and then the same pattern underneath it. So here's a look at the intro of the song, which again I'm using to kind of mirror the piano that they have on the recording. So I'm just going to be pedaling on that C chord with my thumb, middle, and ring fingers on the G and B strings respectively. G, A minor, F, C. You can play the whole first verse this way. Here's that intro again, super slow. Ready? Okay, so for the chorus of the song, I switched to a more intricate finger-picking pattern. This pattern is going to be thumb, first finger, middle, thumb, ring, middle, first, middle. All right, so it seems like a lot at first, but once you get it into your fingers, it's actually pretty simple, right? So thumb, first, middle, thumb, ring, middle, first, middle. And again, it's a little tricky at first, but then once you get that flow, it sounds really nice. Now we're going to look at the chorus with the more intricate finger-picking pattern, which again is thumb, first, middle, thumb, ring, middle, first, middle. Don't worry, you'll get it. I have confidence. All right, super slow. Let's do it. Okay, so last but not least is the bridge section, which begins on D minor. So your thumb's going to drop down to the D string, first finger on G, middle finger on B, and your ring finger on E, okay? Same picking pattern as before. We're going to do thumb, first, middle, thumb, ring, middle, first, middle, okay? The only tricky part is that once you get down to the G in the bridge, he doesn't quite play it 2 times in a row. He does it kind of 1.5 times, and then he uses that A minor as the other half to kick it back to the D minor, right? It's a little, sounds confusing, but let me play it for you. I think it'll make sense, right? So here's how it goes. Here's that bridge again, super slow. Okay, so there you go. You've got all the chords, the progressions, the picking patterns that you're going to need to play Someone You Love by Lewis Capaldi. I really hope you all enjoy it. Thank you again so much for being here today. Please like and subscribe this video and the channel, and I'll see you guys again next time. Be good.